Right now today we've got three good guests. I'm Katie Hogan, your host. We're going to be here for the next hour. We're going to hear from Jeff Smith, Democrat for State Representative of the 18th District. We're going to hear from Robyn Gabel, Democrat for State Representative, 18th District. And we're going to hear from Erin Cox, who just got back from Honduras, witnessing the elections held in Honduras a couple weeks ago. And Erin, you know, is from Eighth Day Center. Some of you have also heard her on the radio, or at least the organization, on our very same station, WLUW, Chicago Sound Alliance. All right, the sun is shining, Jeff, and welcome back to Live from the Heartland.
Thanks, Katie.
Good to have you.
It's great to be here.
Yeah.
Not the first time.
It is not the first time. But,
a long love affair with the Heartland.
Yes, and back at you. I received yesterday in the mail an endorsement from my alderman for you.
That's correct. Joe Moore has come out strong for us, and we're real happy to have him on board. You know, he thought about running for this seat himself, and he would have been a formidable contender. Formidable
is right, and very confusing for us voters as well. Does it make a difference to get such an endorsement here in this part of the district?
Absolutely. I mean, Joe has friends, and Joe has people who aren't as friendly to him, but I think he's respected for his long service, and more importantly, people know that he knows a lot of the needs of the district, and it's important. His endorsement is important because it dovetails with the endorsements I've received of municipal officials in Evanston. You know, the cities are hurting, along with the states and counties all over this country, from the economic meltdown and the repercussions at the local level. And people like Mayor Tisdall of Evanston and former Mayor Morton of Evanston are on board in my campaign because they think that I can produce what's needed in Springfield to help out at the local level.
Production and Springfield in the same sentence. Wow. All right. Now we'll get down to it. Why are you running for this office, Jeff? Why are you running for state rep?
Illinois is a mess, and we need leadership, Katie. Asking me why I'm running is sort of like asking a guy holding a fire hose in front of a burning house why he's doing it. We've got disasters, calamities, ranging from the fiscal crisis to the environmental threats that the state faces. I think these times call on everybody who's got something to contribute to jump in. I've got some skills and a toolkit that I can bring to address these problems. I'm willing to do so, and a lot of people urged me to run.
And this is not your first time running for office.
It's not the first time I've run for office successfully before. I actually am the only candidate in this race who's represented the Rogers Park part of the district. I served 4 years on the State Central Committee of the Democratic Party. That's a non-paying office, but you have to fight for it.
Right.
And I haven't run for anything in 15 years because I needed a little time for the scars to heal.
I love that. I hear that. It's a rough and tumble. As Harold used to say, politics ain't beanball, right?
Well, Harold Washington said a lot of great things. One of them is don't stand there on the outside of the door, kick the damn door down.
Woo! All right, so it's a crowded field. What best qualifies you to run for it?
I don't think it's so crowded. It's not like the Water District or Lieutenant Governor or some of these judicial races. Five is a number that elementary school kids can count to.
Aight.
Well, I think what distinguishes me is the broad breadth of experience in a multitude of subject matter areas. I've been a general practitioner of law for about 20 years, and so there's very few areas that the General Assembly can toss at me that I haven't already seen. The second thing would be the depth of experience. I've been grounded in the community, working with community organizations, seeing how laws impact businesses, homes, families, and schools at the ground level. A third thing would be taking the big picture approach. Daniel Biss has talked about the need for a visionary government rather than a transactional form of government, and Springfield is exceedingly transactional. And the fourth would be a long track record of actually fighting for reform. A lot of people want to get onto the political bus. They want to get a seat on the political bus. I actually want to get on and turn that bus around. So if the defining decision guidance for a voter is going to be who speaks truth to power, I think I've got the best cred in that area.
Do you can you give a description? We up here in Rogers Park are just the very southern tip of the 18th district. And on your brochure, the map of it was illuminating. Describe the 18th district in terms of both its span and its issues.
Well, Rogers Park, while it's only 9 precincts, is actually about 9% of the Democratic primary vote because it's so dense and you have so many apartment buildings here. The district basically spans from Toohey Road to Tower Road. And it's 10...
Somewhat poetic.
Yes. Toohey to Tower, 10 miles along the lake and not much more than 2 miles wide. So it's really actually one of the more lakefront districts in all of Illinois. Water issues are very important here.
Yeah.
So is transit. It's extremely diverse. You have Kenilworth, which is one of the richest zip codes in the country, and we have some troubled areas north of Howard. We have areas of Evanston where there's a house in foreclosure on every other block. So you have to be able to deal with all manner of people and have seen all manner of problems on the street and be able to. You have to be multilingual. You have to be able to talk New Trier and you have to be able to talk some street.
How many people live in this district?
About 119,000.
And how many of them vote?
Well, this is one of the higher voting districts. A lot of political activism, Katie.
I had that feeling.
There's about 75,000 people of voting age. Evanston alone has about 45,000 registered voters. Unfortunately, people don't vote as much in Democratic primaries. And in an off year, during the Obama campaign, there was about 30,000 people voted in the Democratic primary, but only 22,000 for this race. If you go back to the last gubernatorial in 2006, it was significantly lower. You're into the 20s overall turnout and down to the teens for turnout in this race.
Wow.
Yeah, so you end up with not much more than, say, 15% of the population of the entire district voting in this Democratic primary.
Getting all the way to the bottom of the ballot at that time, not quite the bottom. I'm fearful of a sort of lull after the incredible activity of 2008, and also because of the economic decline. It does not encourage people, to go out and vote, I'm sure.
A lot of people are discouraged. I'm seeing more cynicism and distrust out there. There's a significant amount of the population that would favor term limits of 0 right now. Their attitude is throw them all out. And people are burned out, too. Even a lot of good idealists, people who went and knocked doors in Iowa for Barack, are saying, geez, we've had 10 months of debate on health care, and it's getting watered down and bogged down, and we're still fighting for a sort of diluted public option, and we're upping wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, and is this what we fought for? And meanwhile, you get 20 emails a day from MoveOn.org and all our friends. There's a lot of burnout.
Yeah.
I don't blame people at all.